the former witch and works of darkness. I was assigned to cause destruction in the city by the high priest of our brotherhood. I was to operate in a bush behind the Parliament building. This place was transformed into a place of destruction of men and women who lacked Jesus Christ in their life. Since I had the ability to metamorphose, I was supposed to seduce the men and women who passed near these bushes. To attract them I was invested with a great power of seduction. I could transform myself into a man or a woman of all races, all sizes and all shape. As soon as a man or a woman approached this bush behind the Parliament, one of my companion demons who supported me began to read his thoughts. In order to determine his preference and his appetite, the demons read the thinking of the person to know what kind of women and his preference. Once they determine the preferences of the man or woman, he informed me so that I can take the form of the kind of women or men that the passer-by preferred. I then took the form of the man or the woman who was his preference to seduce and attract him. Sending me on this mission, the high priest told me, once you succeeded in seducing and attracting a man or woman, you're gonna suck his sexual organ before transforming him into a goat. In fact, this oral sexual practice comes from the parallel world of the ladies of the sea. It has always been practiced in the marine world of ladies of the sea. It is a tendency and a tradition that has always been underwater. It just arrived on earth through pornography. To tell the truth, the devil had assigned his servants with the mission to take it to earth through pornographic film. So you must abstain from unnatural sex practices. Basically, what I did in this mission is that once I transformed into a man or woman who matched the preferences of the passerby, and once they were seduced, I pretended going to relieve myself in the bush, where I recited incantations and the magic prayer accordingly. As a result, the targeted victim was transformed into a goat. Quickly I brought the goat to the market. I was in the bush where I caused destruction, all men and women, when suddenly I saw two people. However, I noticed that one of the two men was shining brightly. I mean, his star was shining brightly. I was worried. Immediately I got in touch with the spirits of forest that dwelled in this bush. I asked them about the spiritual status of the man whose star shines, but they reassured me that he was not a born-again Christian, and that I shouldn't worry, everything will be fine. There are people who have shining star, still they are not protected if they don't have Jesus Christ in their life. While the two men passed near this bush, which was my field of action, I summoned my husband, the sea spirit Sapphire. He came in the form of a woman that had big bottom in order to seduce them. When she landed, these two men who were already bewitched began to envy her. These men were enchanted by her beauty. They both started to woo her, asking her to be their girlfriend. However, the two men started arguing for her. As they were arguing for her, these men were both turned to goats. While I took the two goats to the local market, they were crying over what happened to them, but people only heard goats bleat. When we got to the market, I sold them to my client, who never knew that these goats were humans, and they were beheaded in the butchery. Many of the animals and meats sold in the market are human flesh, so pray before eating. I was turning into a man and seducing women, and I took them to hotels, where I destroyed them. In these hotel rooms I really never slept with these women. It was through kissing in the mouth that I transferred in their body venom of destruction through my saliva, that were paralyzed to death. Once the victim were paralyzed by the venom of my saliva, I did magic prayer and transferred the body of these victims to the parallel world of Satan. I had to sacrifice the women who goes after men for money. Their bodies was supposed to go through the processing industries where men genitals were transformed into sausage. The buttocks of female victims were transformed into turkey's bottom and sold around the world. Many of the meat we eat on the land are human flesh. These were the 3 tasks that were given to me. My mission was tripartite. Indeed, the industries of the world of Satan needed chicken. There are consequences when you do not pray before eating. In the second part of my assignment, I was assigned to the hospital.